great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronik.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports, and welcome to a Friday. It's been a long week with the blizzard there in the middle of the week and dealing with that. It's been a long week. It's a Friday, the 21st day of March for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronik, ready to start your day here this morning. We've got a lot on the plate. We're going to be talking about the Nebraska women's basketball team. They're playing in the NCAA tournament tonight against Louisville down in Fort Worth, Texas. The baseball and softball teams, despite the snow, they've got games scheduled for this weekend. A so-so outing yesterday for the Hastings College women's basketball team. They lose at the NAIA National Tournament in Sioux City. We've got Hastings High and Adams Central beginning their seasons today, although a change in their schedules. We'll tell you about that coming up. And we've got, of course, the NCAA Men's College Basketball Tournament we'll be talking in length about today. Jim Slacker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network is going to join us. We're going to be talking with Dexter Goodner. He's the assistant women's basketball coach at Hastings College following their loss yesterday to Bethel. And we've also got Hastings Mayor Jay Beckby is going to join us for the second half of his interview that we started yesterday. So, nothing short of content today, Tyson, as we work ourselves into a Friday morning here.
Yeah, what the hell do you need me for here this morning? you got a busy plate, a full plate as we get going here on a Friday morning. But yeah, good Friday morning, Mikey, as we make it to the end of the week. And certainly when you throw a blizzard that has hampered power conditions for the city and a good swath of south central Nebraska into the mix right smack dab in the middle of the week. It seems like forever and a day since we've last had a Friday show, but here we are again and getting forward and looking forward to talking some brackets, talking some ponies, and talking with the mayor here on the show. But I guess let's start off on Hastings College front. That game yesterday afternoon, I was teaching, and so I had the game on in the background and was kind of tuning in and out as I was trying to instruct class at the same time, do a little double duty there. From what I could tell, and I'll get your analysis in a second, it just looked like it was one of those days where you couldn't find a rhythm offensively, and shots weren't falling for the Broncos as they fell to Bethel last night.
Now, isn't the hoop like twice as big as the basketball?
It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be?
My career shooting percentage says otherwise.
Yeah, Hastings, after scoring 112 and 90 points in the first two rounds of this tournament last week in Hastings, we shoot just 30% for the game yesterday, and we were like down at 25% in the first quarter. Got off to a terrible start. 10 of 32 from three-point territory. Also got outscored from the free throw line. Get this, 25-8. Got outscored from the free throw line, 25-8. I've got the stats pulled up here. Hastings from the charity stripe yesterday, 8 of 13. Bethel, 25 out of 32.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so
it's a lot of trips to the line, though.
Yes, it is. Anyway, Hastings losing yesterday to Bethel, 78-70. The Broncos end their season at 25-8. After the ball game, I had a chance to talk with Hastings head coach Dexter Goodner. Dexter Goodner is going to join us on the post-game show, and thanks for coming out, Coach. It's always tough after a season opener, after a season-ending loss, but fact of the matter is we didn't shoot the ball well enough to stay in this thing today.
Yeah, we just, and the crazy part is, and why it hurts so bad is, we got looks we wanted. I thought, throughout the entire game, we got better looks than they did, and we just couldn't get them to fall. And it's a it's postseason. It's going to be physical basketball. We got some body contact, and we just didn't finish through contact. And so, yeah, it was kind of tough. Tough way to go.
They shot the ball. They didn't shoot the ball a lot better than we did. We were fortunate probably to be in the ball game as bad as we were shooting today.
Yeah, and I just didn't really see that coming. I knew, it's a big arena, and it's a little bit different feel, but I didn't think that would really affect us. I think that we have a group of shooters. So hats off to them. I think their defense kind of rattled us a little bit, and we just couldn't really find – they did a great job of closing out on our shooters and making it tough on us.
We shot 4 out of 22 in the first quarter, Coach. Just a matter of nerves coming out, maybe in a bigger arena. We talked about it in the pregame with Gina. With a young basketball team, you don't know how they're going to react to a big game, so to speak.
Yeah.
We missed the shots that normally we hit throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, it's tough as a coach because, that's what you're trying to do the whole week is try to get them to be this is the same environment. That's why we're trying to do the same sort of warm-up, that sort of thing. So, yeah, just kind of surprising that happened. And you're exactly right. We put 86 shots up. I haven't seen it where you put up 86 shots and lose a game. But, yeah, and the girls have to learn from that. And the thing is, you don't know, what can happen to try to get you back to this spot. But the good news is we are young. We'll kind of remember this moment. Hopefully next time when we get here, we hit shots early.
Got outscored from the free throw line today, too, 25-8. They shot a ton of free throws today. You mentioned the national tournament. It's called a little differently, I think, down here sometimes over the past as we have seen it down here. Called a little differently today. We get outscored 25-8 from the free throw line.
Yeah, don't get me in trouble here. Because I had my own words on the bench about it. I just thought, and they have really good reffing crews in here, but people that haven't really worked together a ton. And it just felt like there were certain people calling it one way, certain people calling it a different, and we couldn't really find the rhythm in it. And, kudos to them, I guess, for finding the rhythm. We just we could never do it, and I just felt like we didn't get a friendly whistle here and there, and at times it kind of hurt us. One crucial moment in this game is where we felt like there's possibly a 5-second call on the inbounds. There wasn't one, and then kind of a touch foul on Ann Bose. And to take Ann Bose out of this game with 5 fouls at that moment when we think we got a turnover, it really, really hurt. But, you got to play through it, and we have to learn from that. But, yeah, the free throw discrepancy, I'm never really good with, but when they shoot 32 and we shoot 13, I never really think there's any way a game that is competitive is 20 free throws difference.
Then we had we talked about the Hart sisters during the pregame with Gina. They were better than advertised. I thought they were really good.
Yeah, going into it, we knew they were good, and that was one of our keys. Those girls are just this team really is very talented. They're a team of hoopers, and you can see that too, where they just hit big shots in big moments. Kind of rhythm shots. I thought we did a pretty decent job defensively on them. I thought we rattled them a little bit, but in big moments, they were hitting ISO threes and just getting to their spot and hitting shots. With Micah Hart, where she just got it to her right hand, got to a spot, pull up, and knock down. I was like, okay, that's just a big-time player making big-time shots. And so, yeah, sometimes you got to live with those. We had good defense at times, and they just hit shots.
It's a team that really didn't awe us at all, but what they did pretty well. And they had a couple of players in the Hart sisters, and they pretty well carried this team. Yeah,
absolutely. And they have good pieces around them, and they're young too. That's the crazy part about this. That's why coming into it, I thought we were going to be okay. Young players versus young players here. But yeah, that's something we got to go back and we got to look at and see at our preparation of what can we do different to get our young players going early in a game like this. Because you just don't really see some of our young players miss the shots that they missed.
Hastings loses this one 78-70. Beginning of the season, Coach, we probably didn't think we would end up here in the round of 16 of the national tournament, but it was a great year for this basketball team.
Sorry for sniffling because, I got emotional in the locker room because it was just such a fun ride with this group. I just love them. yeah, nobody thought we were going to be here. We knew we were young. We knew we were talented. And I just tell these, like everybody I talk about it, like it's so organic of how it just came together. It wasn't ever forced. These girls just kept on just giving everything to the team. And it was honestly such a fun ride. I hate to see it be done, but I'm so proud of them for getting here. You know, from where we were last year at the end of the season to where we are right now, like, you know, where are we going to go next?
4 tough losses since the beginning of the year, Coach. I tell you what, like you said, it's been a heck of a ride, but we've had 4 losses, and look at the games we played, and unfortunately I had to end today, so.
Yeah, they're just, it's always tough, but yeah, when you look at who we lost to and the losses that we had, like, man, we played really good basketball down the stretch, and yeah, I can't wait for next year when we kind of roll into it with as much confidence as we have right now.
Okay, my man.
Appreciate it.
Good off season, my man. We'll see you again.
Such a fun season to have you, and thanks for all the calls. And yeah,
it's been a wild ride, hasn't it?
It's been a wild ride, and it's been a lot of fun. And so hopefully we go on another one next year.
Okay,
appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
That is Dexter Goodner. Again, he's the assistant coach for Gina Douglas at Hastings College. The Broncos bowing out of the NAIA National Tournament yesterday, losing to Bethel of Tennessee by a score of 78-70. So just the tip of the iceberg there. We've got, of course, more talk of the NCAA Men's College Basketball Tournament. Our bracket challenge, how'd you do on the opening day, my man?
Looks like we're tied as I pull up the standings and check things out between us. You know, I look at the bracket challenge. I had 2 games in there where I threw them in just for fun. I wasn't going to advance those top seeds very much further into the bracket, so I went ahead and pulled the upset card. One of those was UNO. With St. John's. That was looking actually pretty good towards the half. UNO was giving them a little bit of a run. St. John's pulling away in half number 2, and then the other one was up top of the bracket with the Yale contest, and Yale again. They were in the ball game until late against Texas Tech, but all told, I think 12 of 16 correct on my side, and you know, like I said, it could have been 14 if I would have.
Would have, should have, could have.
Would have, should have, could have, would have done it. Didn't. But we got McNeese. That was an upset special we called. McNeese State, the 12 seed over Clemson. And we put Drake Bulldogs in the right spot. Despite much deliberation with my heart in my head, we ended up going the Drake direction. And, Drake advances. So a couple of upset specials, and the bracket's looking pretty. No big bracket busts. That's the most important thing. I think you want to survive day 1 without losing one of your Final 4 or Elite 8, and we were able to accomplish that. So we're looking okay.
Yeah, we had a great turnout as far as the people entering our bracket challenge for Extreme Sports. It's not just you and me and a handful of other guys. When we put this challenge out, I thought, well, we'll get 3 or 4 guys that go against us during the football season. But no, we got 3 pages. Got 3 pages of entrance. And right now, I think we've got 10 people still tied for first place. I don't know who these people are, but you know, if you entered and you're listening to the show, Ash 17.
There you go.
Papa Cherry, the Bracket of Integrity, Jace Doolan's picks 8. Autumn S. picks 1. Alex Bushow. Lexi Brooks 22. Looks like is that Fatkins picks number 1. KK Rays 33 picks 1. King of Beers one's pick 1. They're all tied for first place.
I'd go for King of Beers, like I'd be a cheerleader for him, but he's got Kentucky winning it all.
Yeah.
She, I guess, I don't know. King of Beers could be either direction. Also, the only program that we can get away with saying Papa Cherry here on the Morning Sports. So they've got Duke advanced. A lot of Duke flavor when you take a look at the overall brackets. But I think all told, we had 70.
Yeah, over 70.
No, 75 group sizes, 75. So what a turnout.
So
what a turnout.
The second day is obviously today, and we'll update the challenge on Monday because Yeah, we've got games today and then games this Saturday and Sunday, so that could all change. But again, congratulations to the people who have survived the first day. You're waking up with Mike and Tyson today here on Huddle Up. Again, a jam-packed show. We'll have more on the NCAA basketball tournament coming up. We're going to be talking some horses today. Going to be talking with Jay Beckby again, the mayor of Hastings. We began his interview yesterday. We'll continue that today. So you're just waking up with us. Stay with us as we join you at the breakfast table here this morning for a Friday morning. It is 7:15.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
And a good morning at 7:15 here on the West Side Studios. It's time for a local news update, and the main focus today on cleanup and power outages. Hastings Utilities linemen were hard at work yesterday repairing electric infrastructure outside the Plainsman Steakhouse in Juniata, as the number of outages from Wednesday's storm has gone from basically citywide to less than 50 as of yesterday morning. One area hit harder than Hastings was our neighbors to the east in Clay County, where as of late last night, a good majority of Fairfield was still without power. Due to Sandy Creek schools being without power and the continued widespread outages across the district, the school remains closed today. They have not been in session since Tuesday. Meanwhile, Highway 74, Highway 41, Highway 6, and 14 are all now open. The Clay County Emergency Management Agency posting an update to Facebook yesterday, thanking the dedicated professionals who spent hours working to get power back up and running and the highways cleared. Snow removal efforts focused on the downtown area for Hastings last night with a downtown-only snow emergency. Crews worked overnight to remove the snow from the roads and businesses. The cleanup efforts were scheduled to end at 7 o'clock this morning. Meanwhile, statewide, numerous crews from other states have provided personnel to assist in repairing downed power lines as well as restoring power. Governor Jim Pillen expressing his gratitude for their quick response and support. He plans to issue an emergency declaration upon NEMA's recommendation after initial damage assessments are completed. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., President Donald Trump signed an executive order yesterday to begin dismantling the Department of Education. Governor Pillen was on hand at the White House to attend the signing ceremony and released the following statement after the news, saying, quote, "Our kids and grandkids must be a priority because they are Nebraska's future. Since the Department of Education was formed as a standalone entity in 1980, we've seen its budget and workforce bloat, but the U.S. has not seen improved outcomes for students, parents, or classrooms." He goes on to say, "Our kids' education and our teachers are too important for us to keep pursuing mediocre results that cost us billions. The best thing we can do is to help families and schools is to increase local influence and restore decision-making to those nearest our students because they care the most. This was a pro-kid, pro-parent, pro-teacher, pro-school decision," end quote. It is now 7:18. Let's head over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's the haps in sports?
Well, the Nebraska women's basketball team will play Louisville tonight in the first round of the NCAA tournament in Fort Worth, Texas. Huskers are 21-11 on the season. They finished 10-8 in the Big Ten Conference. The Cardinals are 21-10. They were 13-5 in the ACC. Nebraska will be trying to advance to the second round of the tournament for the second straight year after beating Texas A&M 61-59 last season. Tip-off will be at 5 o'clock on ESPN. The Nebraska baseball team will finish off their West Coast road swing with a 3-game series at USC this weekend. First pitch tonight will be at 8:30. The Nebraska softball team will host Minnesota this weekend. Tonight's game gets underway at 5 o'clock. Hastings College women's basketball team struggled offensively and lost to Bethel of Tennessee 78-70 yesterday in the round of 16 of the NAIA National Tournament in Sioux City. After scoring 112 and 90 points in their first 2 games of the national tourney, the Broncos connected at only 30% of their shots in this game, including 10 of 32 from long range. Hastings was outscored from the free throw line 25-8 and got out-rebounded 55-49. Macy Bryant had 18 points for the Broncos. McKenna Yates had 12, and Bowes and Kernan Polk each had 10. Hastings ends the season at 25-8. Dordt, Marion of Indiana, and Southern Oregon won the other games yesterday at the Tyson Event Center. The Defenders got by Langston of Oklahoma 55-51. Tonight, Briar Cliff will play Mid-America Nazarene at 8 o'clock. Meanwhile, in the men's tournament down in Kansas City, Northwestern lost to Georgetown of Kentucky 73-70. Hastings College baseball team will play at Dakota Wesleyan today. First pitch is scheduled for noon. The Broncos are scheduled to play host to Morningside on Sunday beginning at noon. We'll have the action on Extreme Sports beginning with a pregame show at 11:45. Hastings College softball team will play at Dordt today. First pitch will be at 3. Saturday's doubleheader at Waldorf has been postponed. The Nebraska Kearney softball team will host Northwest Missouri State on Sunday. First pitch will be at 1. Adams Central and Hastings High will open up their seasons today. The Patriots will play at Wayne in a game that was originally set for Duncan Field. First pitch in Wayne will be at 4:30. Hastings High will play at Bennington today, beginning at 4:30. Yesterday's game against Norris was postponed. In the NCAA Men's College Basketball Tournament yesterday, Creighton beat Louisville 89-75. Omaha lost to St. John's 83-53. And Kansas lost to Arkansas 79-72. Among the upsets on the opening day, Drake beat Missouri 67-57, and McNeese State surprised Clemson 69-67. 2 number 1 seeds have advanced. Houston ran past SIU Edwardsville 78-40, and Auburn knocked off Alabama State 83-63. That's a check in your sports headlines. 7:22 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
As we head into the weekend, the weather will be nice. We'll even have a chance of rain, but it will be breezy as well. Hey, everybody, Tim Jones on this Friday, a high in the mid-50s. We'll have more sunshine in the afternoon, and we'll have northwest winds 10 to 15, increasing to 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting up to the mid-30s. Overnight tonight, mostly clear, a low of 30. 65 and partly sunny on Saturday. Saturday night, we'll have a chance for rain, and 58 sunny and breezy on Sunday.
As you wake up, get going this morning. Partly cloudy skies. We've got northwest winds at 10. Tim stands at 34, and he sings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, located at 208 South Burlington, Suite 101 in Hastings. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating scalp treatments, and advanced Glow 2 facials, along with ozone therapy and frequency healing. Join us for our spring open house on March 29th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Enjoy free tours, 20% off all bookings, exciting giveaways, and a chance to win a $100 gift card for the first 30 product purchases. Become a member for 24-hour access to amenities like the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge, plus discounts on services and products. Visit us on Facebook to learn more. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Truly holistic care designed for you.
I'm John Butler, Funeral Director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Get ready, race fans. Cam Raceway is teaming up with Extreme Sports for an electrifying season of high-speed, dirt-slinging, adrenaline-pumping action. Every race night, we're bringing you live video coverage straight from the track, so you won't miss a single lap, pass, or photo finish. From non-wing warriors to cage karts, flat karts, and the A-class wing beasts, we've got it all. There's nothing like the roar of the engines, the smell of burning rubber, and the rush of dirt flying action right in front of you. So get to the track and experience it live. But if you can't make it, don't sweat. Extreme Sports has you covered. Buckle up, because this season is going to be fast, fierce, and unforgettable. Make sure you like and follow Extreme Sports on Facebook to get all the latest updates, and we will see you at the track.
All right, Mike Welch, Tyson Urbanic with you on a Friday morning, the 21st day of March for 2025. Again, if you'd like to chime in, you can. You give us a call anytime at 402-834-1330. 402-834-1330. You can leave a message on our social media sites as well. We're monitoring those comments as well as we get you up, get you going. Joining us for breakfast here today as we get you into the weekend. Coming back from Sioux City yesterday, I noticed a great business to be in right now is the towing business. Yeah. There was a lot of cars in the ditch, especially in eastern Nebraska and around Omaha, Lincoln, stretching to York. They've got a lot more snow that way than we had in the Tri-Cities area, but we saw enough. We saw enough here.
Oh, yeah.
I pulled back into town and said, this is not the same place I left on Tuesday. It was, remember, when I left on Tuesday for Sioux City, it was sunny and the temp was like 75 degrees when I took off.
Yeah, I had 2 hours worth of scooping yesterday, and then I did all that scooping yesterday only to not have my car start, so had to call for a jump.
Your car didn't start.
That was very pleasant.
You have a lot of problems with that car.
It's actually, it's a great car. It just doesn't like the cold. It's like me.
Car didn't start?
Me and that car get along great.
All right. Jim Sliker from the Nebraska
He's
Thoroughbred.
standing by.
He is?
He is standing by.
He's back from vacation?
Back from vacation. Welcomed back with a blizzard. We'll talk about that and more coming up.
All right. It's 7:28. Let's get to it, shall we?
They're moving into the gate.
And down the stretch they come in the Kentucky Derby, and Barbaro is running away. It's Edgar Prado aboard, and Barbaro is going to win this Derby by 6 lengths. Bluebest had second. From far back, Steppenwolf came on to return.
All right, it's time to talk ponies here again today with Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. Jim, welcome back to the States, my man. Hope you enjoyed your vacay down in Mexico.
Oh, I'm glad to be back in the States. Ready to make some money. I got to pay for that trip now.
Yeah, we talked to him from Mexico last week. So anyway, Jim, we've got weather to deal with this week. The weather looks like it's going to be nice, but how is the snow going to affect the track up at Fauner Park this weekend?
I don't think the snow's really going to affect it too much. We're going to have some wind today. Snow's off the track now. It should be a drying track that we'll see today. Tomorrow I look to see a fast track for sure, though, for the Tondy Stakes.
Jim Schleicher again joining us here this morning as we open up shop and talk about the card over the weekend here at Fauner Park. And I think you take one big look here on Saturday, Jim, at the ninth race. That's the stakes race that's going to be going on over at the Fawn. And one of your horses that you've talked about and we've talked about here on this show, Axel Steele, is in that particular race, but he's got a couple horses that are certainly capable of giving Axel a challenge. Do we still like Axel this week in the big stakes race?
I'm backing off Axel for this race, actually. We've got 9 good horses in that race, but potentially there's 6 of them that are speed horses, Axel Steele being one of them. A couple of them can be either just stalkers laying just off the pace, but realistically, I think there's 4 of them that are going to go out and fight for the lead, and that's really going to be tough on Axel Steele. And so I'm looking for a horse to come from off the pace, and actually I think it's going to be at some big odds, and that's from the Skylar Condon barn of Forced Ranking. He seems to step up in the big races. He was second in the Bosselman last year. I don't know why. He just seems to be the horse when the money's on the line that he makes a good run at him, and he appears really ready to run.
Now, Jim, the last time you said we're going to have a horse that had big odds, that's the day I went to the track, so I bet it, and by the time it came around, it was like 2-1 or less than 2-1 odds. A lot of people listen to the show, and obviously we bet the board there, and that drove the odds down, so you never can tell.
Well, that was when I sat there, and I couldn't decide whether to make him my best bet or the long shot, but his morning line odds to start out with were I believe 8-1, and I kept watching and watching. I'm going, we didn't make any money on him when he went off at even money, but he sure won easy. It looked nice.
Yes, it did. It got my winning started a week or so ago, so that got it started. But I didn't get the big odds that I was hoping for there.
Well, that happens sometimes. I guess I should be quiet and not tell about those.
No. That's what we like about this show, folks, because Jim has got some winners, and we'll get you started on a hefty weekend, hopefully. What about some of your best bets this weekend, Jim? What's on the card?
Well, Friday, let's start right off with the third race and number 2, Maladjusted Misfit, and I posted that yesterday on my social media site on the social group Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network, and I've been getting a lot of pushback on my horse there, saying they don't think he's the best bet, but I just look at that horse as having a lot of speed in an inside position, and maybe my best bet will come home today and get some odds, so let's try that one. And then another for Saturday, my best bet would be in the 7th race, number 4, Life on the Nile. He cuts back from a route to a sprint, and he appears to be the only speed in the race, and I'm hoping that he can get out and go wire to wire in that field. So that's 2 of my best bets this weekend.
Again, Jim Schleicher from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network joining us here this morning on Huddle Up as we talk ponies over the weekend. Big race in terms of Derby prep coming up as we head to Narlands at the fairgrounds and the Louisiana Derby. And one of the horses I like in here, John Hancock, he comes off as probably the favorite, and I think that there's going to be a lot of smart money on him. But Jim, is there anybody else there in that Louisiana Derby that might mix things up a little bit for Hancock's signature?
Well, I do think John Hancock will run pretty good for Brad Cox. He's undefeated. He's got a little tougher competition today. I look for 2 of the horses that I've been watching this year, the number 5 Caldera and number 6 Built. We talked about Built when he ran in the Risen Star, and he didn't have his best race and run 3rd, but the horse I'll probably be playing in that race will be Caldera, who got beat by Getaway Car down in Sunland Park. Bob Baffert's horse, he came back and just missed in his next out, and so I think Caldera is going to be pretty tough in that race. At 5-1, I think I'm going to play D. Wayne Lucas's horse a little bit, but I do think your horse, looking at John Hancock, is going to be pretty tough out on the lead.
D. Wayne Lucas and Bob Baffert, they always seem to have a bunch of horses in the Kentucky Derby. Is that going to be the case this year, or is it too early to tell?
Well, it's a little early to tell yet, but Baffert's always got a barn full, and this will be his first time back after his suspension from the Kentucky Derby. So Bob's doing his best to try to get more than one horse there to improve his odds. But, between Bob, you look at Brad Cox, you also look at Kenny McPeak and Pletcher. They all seem to be loaded up for the Derby this year.
Again, Jim Schleicher joining us here this morning as we continue to talk about the weekend for Fauner Park. And, luckily so far, Jim, knock on wood, the nasty weather has been for generally the most part in the middle of the week, and then that's provided some excellent weekend of racing over at Fauner. We've seen that in terms of the attendance. God, it's so good to walk in there and to just see the grandstands and general admission full once again, and the clubhouse as well. But as far as the weekend is concerned, when we take a look at some potential long shot plays, somebody that's going to try to get the most bang for their buck, what are we looking at here on the weekend card?
Well, let's start off right away in the first race today with the horse called Oh I Giggle. Takes a big class drop, gets a rider change with Kevin Roman. He's starting out at like 8-1. I think I don't know if we'll get 8-1 on him, but I think this horse can get out and run a really nice race today. Kevin Roman should be able to, he's got pretty soft hands to keep these horses moving. And then on Saturday, I'm going right back to the Tondi Stakes, and I'm making Force Ranking my long shot of the day. I think Force Ranking will probably have odds of 10-1 or more, especially with Larry Ravelli bringing in uncashed out of the fairgrounds. Larry Ravelli is one of the top trainers for percentage-wise. He doesn't run a lot of horses. He's had 62 starters this year and 17 wins, so I think people are going to be gravitating towards that horse pretty well, and I think Force Ranking is going to mow him down in the stretch, or I'm sure hoping so. I'm going to be playing him in the exotics because I think even if he would not win with his odds, we're going to see some good payoffs in the exactas and trifectas.
All right, there you go. We've got a couple of best bets set up for you for the weekend. We've got a couple of long shots set up for the weekend. Jim, it sounds like it could be a nice weekend for us, huh?
It looks like it. Temperatures are supposed to be upper 50s today, moving on into the 60s tomorrow. I was down in Mexico, but I'll still be able to come out in some shorts and a nice shirt today and enjoy some good pony races. That's not going to deter me. I'll just stay away from the tequila this time.
How was that tequila? How was that tequila down in Mexico?
Oh, it was pretty good. I might say I had one or two. I tried some new drinks. But I'll probably come back and just stick to drinking beer again now.
All right, so you want to follow Jim? He's got picks for the entire weekend up on his social media site at the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing. They can grab most of those right on Facebook, right, Jim?
That is correct. You can follow us on a Facebook group, Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. I'll have all my picks on there for all 3 days. I haven't made Sunday's picks yet. I'm kind of waiting to see how the track plays before I put my bets out, whether it's a speed bias track or an unbiased track. But we'll have everything on there later on today once we see how things run at Fauner today.
All right. Jimmy checks in with us each and every Friday here on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. It's been a good ride so far, Jim. Keep the winners coming our way, all right?
Well, keep them coming your way, hopefully, and just remember, you will have fun, and you can bet on it.
Okay, Jim Schleicher from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network joining us here today on Huddle Up. So there you go. Couple of best bets. Couple of long shots for us today. So if you're not betting on college basketball, a lot of people are this time of the year. Plus with the casino over there where you can wager legally now on college basketball. It'll be a big weekend. It's probably going to be a jammed weekend, I would anticipate.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
So, yeah, if you're heading to a Fauner Park, just get ready for a big crowd, not only at the races, but I think in the casino tomorrow
and sports book.
Yeah, today, tomorrow, Sunday. So anyway, that's what's going on there. Back to college basketball. I know we got some Kansas fans that listen to the show on a regular basis. We knew Kansas was not going to make a big run this year. This was the preseason number 1 ranked team, Kansas. They ended up losing in the first round of the NCAA tournament yesterday to Arkansas, losing by the score of 79-72. Jayhawk head coach Bill Self.
I thought it was a good basketball game if you're a fan. I thought we tried really hard, and the zone kind of gave us a chance there in the second half, but we got off to terrible starts to start the game and to start the second half, and then I don't know what it was. We finished the game on up 3 with 3.5, something like that, and 3 out of 4 possessions we turned it over. So, we did a lot of the damage ourselves, but their length bothered us all night long. We had open passes and couldn't pass over them, and they got steals or deflections off of plays that could potentially be layups for us. But we did fight hard, and of course AJ had probably his best game of the season. I thought he was terrific, and Zeke was great throughout. So disappointing, but certainly I thought we gave a great effort.
So there you go. Kansas out of the NCAA basketball tournament in the first round. That hasn't happened for a number of years. I forgot what year it was. I was watching the game last night. They flashed that up there. But it's been a long, long time since Kansas has been ousted in the first round of the tourney.
Well, it was a tough game because they lose their leading scorer, or in their biggest threat offensively, the guy that was really making things happen. He goes out around the 4-minute mark with that rolled ankle on just a freak rebound incident, and so you take him out of the equation, right? And then it was a game of runs. Like Arkansas was up 10, Kansas roared back, they took the lead, and the game was right there to be won. You have the injury. That was a devastating blow to KU. But I was telling Ryan Martin, texting him last night, and I says, this is like watching Nebraska basketball. You have 3 opportunities on 3 straight possessions under 3 minutes in a 1-possession game, and you turn it over on 3 straight possessions. And it was wayward passing. It was awareness. It was spatial awareness, court awareness, what have you. But you can't have those turnovers. And we suffer it as Husker fans watching it. Like, we know it's coming. And all of a sudden the devastating blow, puts us back into the, oh no, we suck again category. I felt like Kansas kind of could empathize with Nebraska fans a little bit on this season. So yeah, it was a tough way to go out, certainly. But I think, man, a couple bounces go your way. You don't turn the ball over down the stretch, and maybe your star player is playing healthy. That could have easily gone the other way.
So Kansas is out. Arkansas moves on. They'll play St. John's in the next round, as the St. John's took care of Omaha last night by a score of 83-53. Earlier in the day, in fact, right out of the chute yesterday, Creighton knocked off Louisville by the score of 89-75. We've got Creighton head coach in Greg McDermott.
Obviously very proud of my team. Our execution was terrific. We beat an incredible team, and I couldn't have been more impressed with them in our preparation. We felt like we had to win the 3-point line battle, so we did what we could to try to force them into twos, and if they're taking threes, they were going to be challenged. And I think for the most part, we were able to do that. But they're hard to guard because they have so many weapons, and Chucky, besides being an elite scorer himself, he sets other guys up. So we just felt in this game it couldn't be a game where he had 18 points and 14 assists. So, only 10 assists on their 30 baskets. That's how we tried to make them play. And fortunately it worked. But, my guys did a great job offensively, defensively. Jemiah was terrific. Jackson, big shots in the first half. And then, Steven throughout the game, running the show for us. So it's a really gratifying win because of who we beat and how good I thought they were.
And that's a Creighton head coach, Greg McDermott. So Creighton moves on. Now they've got a tough task coming up on this Saturday. They'll take on one of the number 1 seeds in Auburn in the second round.
Chucky Hepburn, just a quick note on him. We got to see him in that amazing Class A final. with Hunter Salas and just the NBA game that broke out on a high school basketball court. It was like one of the most magical nights of high school basketball that I can remember watching. And we were watching it right alongside each other on the very far end of the media table, if history remembers correctly, as we were waiting to get our spot onto pit row to do the last game of the night. But Chucky Hepburn was the reason Louisville was even remotely close in that game. Dude came out and flat out balled, had the best game of any team in a losing effort in that tournament thus far. He is a straight baller, and I couldn't be more happy about that kid.
All right, so that's some of the highlights and the lowlights from the NCAA tournament from yesterday. Action will continue today with opening round games, and then we'll get into the second round on Saturday. So it should be an exciting weekend sports-wise with the NCAA tournament going on and everything else that's happening right now.
Nothing dull going on right now in terms of the TV guide, but in terms of the TV guide, yeah, you got your choices. I mean, we go tonight, ESPN with Nebraska women's basketball as they get set. If you get a little bit tired of the CBS sports action and the big bracket challenges, we've got a couple KU comments chiming in. Let's get to those here really quick. Ryan chiming in with Kansas has the number one recruit coming into the point guard position in Darren Peterson. We will be back. Rock Chalk. And Lou says story of the year, game-ending mishaps for Kansas basketball. Jim Ree chiming in over from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. Breeders' Cup Classic winner Sierra Leone returning for his 4-year-old campaign in the $500,000 Fairgrounds Classic in Louisiana. So that's another one to keep your eye on in terms of the simulcasting calendar. We're all caught up on comments. On to the next thing, driver.
Boston Celtics. They were sold yesterday to a group of businessmen, partners, so to speak, led by Bill Chisholm. He's the managing partner of Symphony Technology Group. Anyway, these guys agreed to buy the Boston Celtics for $6.1 billion. That's with a B. $6.1 billion. That price would surpass the $6.05 billion price that a group led by Josh Harris paid to buy the NFL's Washington Commanders back in 2023. The most paid for a franchise in North American sports history. The Celtics selling yesterday for $6.1 billion.
We wonder where all these teams come up with all the money to sign all these players for these big-time contracts.
Wow.
Buy a sports team, they said. It'll be fun.
So Boston Celtics going to be sold there. So that's what's going on. We've got, you want to change gears?
Well, let's do it.
You want to hop in my buggy again today? You had a chance to sit down with Hastings Mayor Jay Beckby earlier in the week. We heard the first part of the interview yesterday, and we got the second part here today as the mayor continues to work through his first 90 days in office. Let's hear from Hastings Mayor Jay Beckby this morning.
Mayor Jay Beckby, again, joining us this morning here on Huddle Up as we discuss some of the points from the city, State of the City address this last Monday. Another point that I wanted to touch up on, and when we've highlighted things that can help out with that, but it's growth. And we've been a part of this Hastings community. I lived here for 30 years before I moved up north and then came back. You've been a part of this Hastings community as well. We've seen the growth just kind of stagnant over the course of decades. And obviously industry and housing can certainly help out with that. But from my standpoint, it's a cultural thing too. We see businesses that potentially want to come in and are immediately met with some backlash, whether that be via social media or people that just are not wanting it in their backyard, as they say, the not in my backyards. How, apart from getting everybody on board and being cheerleaders for this city, how can we help change the culture to welcome this in?
You know, you mentioned social media, and that's obviously something that people look at when they want to come to town, and businesses look at that too, and they see a lot of what we have going on our social media, and it probably doesn't look very attractive. And I don't know what you do to that except for maybe sit down with people on those social media sites and say, look, can we be more positive about Hastings? You know, everything's going to have, there's negative aspects to everything. My life, your life, my son's baseball game, you know, even if they won 12-0, I can still come out and say, hey, we could have done this better. We could have done that better. And that just comes from coaching baseball and football and stuff with my little boy. I mean, there's always things you can do better. And I think we can do better. I think we can do better on social media. People want to air out what they want to air out. And that's fine. But there's a lot of infighting going on with, you know, how the city's been run and how the city has been stagnant for so many years. What I look at is can we be positive? You know, I've been here for 40 years as well. That population sign just doesn't seem to change, does it? And I think we're making steps to do that. You know, another saying that I like, and this comes from a movie, is build it and they'll come. You know, I don't think for the last 20 years we've been building that infrastructure, and we've been working on that housing. You know, with the housing shortage that we had identified, and now we're addressing it and moving into, you know, from the concentration on the what you would call, I guess, commercial housing or mass housing. We're moving into that the workforce housing, you know, realm where we're looking at, you know, like I said, the backyards and the actual house. That'll be more attractive to people coming in that have small families. That's one phase of it. The second phase of it, obviously, build it and they will grow, comes with an industry. We have to be available to accept that industry. We have to have available land. We have to have incentive plans put together, and Shannon's doing a great job at the HEDC putting that portfolio together to go seek everybody out, because they're not just going to come here. You know, we have to reach out and get to those people. So she's putting together a great portfolio, and it's on social media, it's on the internet. It's on all the cool little tools that she has down there at the HEDC to reach people. And it also comes down to the people of Hastings. You know, if you know people out there, they're looking for a small business. I don't care if it's 10 employees, 25, 50, or 500. If you know somebody, say, Hastings is a great place to live. You know, why don't you look at Hastings? Maybe we can work some incentives. And that's a package that they're putting together that I don't feel was at that level before. And an industrial park, some land, some infrastructure that's already it's ready to go, shovel ready, so to speak. And that's what we're getting to. And it takes time to do that. But what I said in my speech was, if I could get 1% growth per year, that's 250 people based on 25,000. That's 1,000 people by the time the end of my term is up. I would be absolutely ecstatic. That'd put us at, you know, mid 25, almost 26,000 people, and on a road to keep furthering that success. And that's with that infrastructure. You got to have it here. They're not going to come if it's not available. And then you got to go get it. So it's all a planning process. First 90 days, I think the last administration, the last few years here, we've really been pushing, you know, towards where I want to push. I'm just going to try to further that and make it happen over the next 4 years.
90 days in office. Hastings Mayor Jay Beckby joining us here on Huddle Up this morning as we've talked to all things state of the city. One last topic I did want to bring up just really quickly, and we can defer this to however it needs to be, but Mike wanted me to bring it up because he does ball games over at Duncan. I work over at First Street Brewing. We're right on the train tracks, and I know it constantly gets brought up on social media as far as the quiet zone completion. I think a lot of us were anticipating that project was going to move a little bit quicker. Do you have any information on how that process is going to be implemented here as we move into the spring and summer?
Well, I appreciate how nice you said that, a little bit quicker, because as you know, I've got a business right there on First Street, so I'm very familiar with the train crossings. They're like my buddy, my loud buddy. But they, you know, I've talked to several people that have developments all along First Street there. And they're very concerned about that because I think it was passed, 6 or 7 years ago. So I dug into it. And I've got my information coming back from my engineering staff and my administrative staff is that most of our crossings downtown on all the way down to, I believe, Elm Street on the one side and clear out to Marion Road on the west side. Most of the interior crossings are 100% ready to go from the city's aspect. We've done our work. The outside ones, we've got a little bit more to do, but it's a very quick process. Now it'll be done. We're right now waiting on the railroad, and that's a process that I didn't, I don't know that much about it now, but I'm getting into it now. And it's just about contact and making further contact and saying, hey, look, can we get this done? So we're on the phone right now. We're visiting that. I'm hoping to get some things done this summer. We'll see how quick it goes. We can revisit this topic, because I'd love to revisit this topic later on this summer and say, hey, we're halfway home and we're getting there, because I think that project has been stagnant for far too long. And that's definitely on my radar, and it's definitely being addressed as we speak. So I think we can get something done.
Mayor Jay Beckby again joining us here on Huddle Up. We appreciate the time and all the information here this morning, and we can't wait to revisit that topic and others as we move along here in the spring and summer. And we again appreciate the accessibility and you joining us this morning.
Anytime, my man. It's my pleasure.
All right, Hastings Mayor Jay Beckby. Way to stir the pot. Way to stir the pot with the quiet zone.
A little bit longer than anticipated. As I play that tape back, and I'm like, man, did you really say a little bit longer than anticipated? I mean, hell, we brewed a beer expected to come out in 2022 in anticipation for the Quiet Zone 3 years ago that hasn't fully developed yet. So, we're all anxious and looking forward to that day where the railroad comes to town and knocks those babies out, because like he said, they're ready to roll right in the areas that we want them. I don't want a summer at Sodbusters games with national anthems being delayed by a train whistle that goes for the entire duration of Duncan Field. They don't just do like a little honk. No, they wail on that puppy. And so really looking forward to those conversations with the UP.
It's not going to happen before summer. Just from what Jay just got done telling us, it's not going to happen before, so maybe next year.
Get on the horn. Get on the horn. Stay on the horn. Just annoy the hell out of them until they come down.
Yeah, Jay will. He'll get the job done, but I don't anticipate anything done before summer.
Hell, I'll go up to Omaha right now and just wait by their door.
I'll testify how annoying it is when I'm trying to do games out at Duncan Field. Anyway, we've covered a lot today. My buggy.
To spare.
Yeah, my buggy is steaming. I mean, the radiator is steaming full of stuff. We talked with Dexter Goodner, the assistant coach for Hastings College, about their loss yesterday. We've heard from Kansas head coach Bill Self, Creighton head coach Greg McDermott. We've talked to the mayor. We've talked to Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Association. Whew, I'm going to be exhausted at the end of this show.
Yeah, we're like 2 minutes to spare here. Your big upset of the day, is it coming in the 5-12 matchup today? That Colorado State game?
Yeah, I'm heavy on Colorado State today.
Yep.
Over Memphis. Not only do I have them winning over Memphis, I've got them winning over.
Oh, you took them too.
I took them Maryland over Maryland in the second round.
Yep.
You didn't take Grand Canyon today?
I did. So Grand Canyon's my upset play of the day. I've got Grand Canyon not only 1 but 2 rounds as well. So we are in the same ballpark with our upset specials, just on different sides of the seeds. You've got the 12 seed going 2 rounds. I've got the 13 seed going 2 rounds. And I'll throw you in one for a bonus. And I know they got a lot of flack throughout the season. This might come back and bite me in the ass in a hurry. As a Duke fan, I like North Carolina today against Ole Miss. It feels incredibly toxic to say, but I like North Carolina today against Ole Miss.
Wow. That is as bad as your Omaha selection over St. John's last night, where they lost by 30.
They were in the bowl game for a hot minute.
I know. I watched the first half. Well,
we got chiming in here today.
We've got 2 number 1s going today.
Colorado State is the odds-on favorite, but the lower seed. That's weird.
They're favored to win today?
Colorado State's favored.
Really? As a number 12 seed? Against the number 5 seed
a
Memphis?
2-point favorite.
Wow. Everybody must be on Colorado
Good
State.
catch, Noah.
I don't like that all of a sudden, if that's the case. 2 number 1 seeds going in Duke and Florida. I don't think either team will have much of a problem today winning, so don't look for a 16-1 upset today. No. Let's see what else is going on today. You like Kentucky, or you like North Carolina over Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. I'm just checking the rest of the stuff here. Nothing else really pops up. It's going to be a good day. Dana Altman is going to be not playing, but coaching tonight for Oregon.
Yep.
In their game against Liberty.
Huskers on at 5.
Huskers on at 5. Nothing else in the men's schedule that really pops up here today.
No, not really.
Husker.
Which means it's going to be a huge day for upsets.
Yeah, you look for it. Mm-hmm. Look for it. Nebraska women at 5 again this afternoon as they play Louisville. Let's see. We got baseball coming up this weekend. Weather permitting, we'll have Hastings College in Morningside on Sunday. Action gets underway at noon. On the air with a pregame show at 11:45 here on Extreme Sports. Adams Central, Hastings High baseball looking to open up their seasons today. Adams Central is supposed to have a home opener. That's not going to be the case. They're going to be playing in Wayne today, 4:30 starting time. Hastings High had their season opener yesterday against Norris, postponed by the snow. They hopefully will play at Bennington. Evidently, the northeastern part of the state did not get near as much snow as we did, and they're going to be playing in Wayne and Bennington today for Adams Central and Hastings High baseball. So hopefully they get off to good starts. Let's see. Anything else going on for the weekend?
I have nothing left on my agenda.
NASCAR.
That wasn't on there.
I've got a couple of NASCAR fans that listen to this show. NASCAR is running in Miami this weekend at Homestead. They're down in Miami. Let's see what else is on your agenda. Soccer, anything going on in soccer that I need to know? I mentioned
really depressing news last night. We were in the CONCACAF Nations on the men's side of things, a tournament that really the only hardware that the U.S. has laid claim to throughout the last several years. They go into the CONCACAF 4 Nations in the semifinals and were upended by Panama.
No.
All teams. 1-0.
Are you kidding me? 1-0?
1-0 to Panama.
So we lost the cup?
We will have no rights to the cup. We're going to be playing for third.
Wow.
Might as well just fly home.
To hop on the plane and say, hell with it?
Hell with it.
Hell with it. We can't win the cup?
I ain't playing for third.
I ain't playing for third.
Stupid third-place games.
Yeah, I wouldn't play consolation games either.
Third-place games.
I still think that's stupid for boys and girls state basketball. We play for third place.
Oh, we could get on a huge soapbox about it.
Maybe we will
next week.
Yeah, because we were full today. Anyway, thanks for Jim Slacker for joining us from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. Dexter Goodner gave us some time following the Hastings College loss yesterday. We heard from him. Kansas head coach Bill Self, who's now out of the NCAA tournament. He's got a long offseason ahead. And Greg McDermott, who's going to be preparing for a number 1 seed in Auburn coming up on Saturday. So it's been an interesting week with the blizzard throwing in. My couple of days up in Sioux City with my new office attire. Now I'm back at home, and we'll get through the weekend. So enjoy your weekend. We'll do it again on the Monday beginning at 7. Remember, you can listen to this show again. It was very educational today. If you want those picks from Jim, you can listen to it back. If you want to listen to what the mayor had to say, maybe missed a portion of that, go to our social media sites and download the podcast on all the social media sites, even on Roku TV. There's a spot for you to listen to this show again. Again, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors about Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. We do this each and every weekday morning from 7 until 8. So have yourself a good day. Have yourself a great weekend. See you again on Monday.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports.